Hello. We are live. Sorry about the old intro. I couldn't find the other one. For some reason, it wasn't there. Tonight is an audience with, and it's the main man next to me that side. Acapella Harrison, the main man from AMC Mods, makers of the wonderful Haka. Excuse my dirty Haka. I don't like cleaning my mechs. Acapella, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Are you intact after the storm?
Just about. No word of a lie. Like, our fence is non-existent in our backyard.
And we've got another one coming as well this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah. It's never ending.
Storm Dennis hits on Saturday, apparently. That'll be lovely. Anyway, that's enough about the weather. Acapella's come on very kindly for an interview, and we're going to talk all about AMC, the Haka, and Acapella's journey through it all. Now, I've known Acapella for 2 years, nearly 3 years now. It'll be 3 years. Yeah. Quite a journey through various groups together and things like that. Yeah. But why did you start vaping, Acapella? Let's start there.
I started vaping because something worked. For me, like throughout my years, I've always like tried to give up smoking in many different ways, and it's always failed. It's never worked for me. It's never been satisfying. So yeah, I mean, essentially, that one of my sisters had a kit. I tried it. She had apple sours on it, and I was just blown away by the flavor. And instantly, because I love my sweet things and whatever else, and the flavor was plentiful, I just found myself vaping more than smoking. And the rest, as they say, is sort of history in that sense.
And obviously, you've been through quite a journey in the vape industry, I suppose, a way to put it. Obviously, with Time Worn Clouds, the group that we was both in and active in for a long while, and then in various shops and other projects. But what made you decide to produce the Haka and start AMC?
Well, as you said, like my journey throughout the last sort of 5 years, nearly. That's where it's coming to at the moment. It's nearly 5 years, and I mean, I met my current best friend and brother through the first group that I joined, which was Time Worn Clouds. So yeah, I think as I went through over the years, and I attended expos after expos, I elevated in the equipment I was using, and I found that I kind of loved the raw power of a mechanical mod. And so obviously I was always drawn towards the rebuildables and the mechanicals more than I was regulated. It wasn't to say that I didn't have my fair share of regulateds, because I did. And it's not to say that I won't release a regulated in the future, because I might. But because I was predominantly mechanical, and I'd had a good windfall, if you like. And this is the type of money. I'm a very hand-to-mouth sort of guy. We're not rich, we're not poor, we just are. And when we got this amount of money, it was about, at the time, I was been really hard with my mental health. And I'm not ashamed to say that my thoughts were along the line of, I need to put a safety bag, sort of stash, whatever you like, of money to the side for my children, because my mental health is quite severe. Although it's not something that I can't not control, but it's still there, and it's something that happens every day. I live through it every day, whilst doing what I do. So in the end, I was like, right, well, I'll pick an industry that I know inside and out, which is obviously vaping. I have a passion for vaping and the community itself. I guess my heritage has always been something that I hold dear to my heart. Mother passed away when I was 4/5 of lung cancer. Funny enough, so I never really got to know her. But she was Maori all the way through. She was 100% Maori, which was why I've always held that the Maori heritage close to my chest. So compiling the two together with this important money that we've not really ever had in our lives before. So you're taking an amount of money, you're taking a passion, and you're taking a love, and you combine all three together, and that's how I came to producing and designing the Haka mod and having it manufactured.
Superb. And what a story and a journey you've been on, brother. It's quite inspiring, I have to say, from looking in from my perspective, seeing that journey. Just to answer Chris, I am actually vaping on a Haka with a Bonza V1, and I have some really sweet glazed donut juice on the go, which is incredibly sweet, but rather nice on my sweet tooth today. So let's talk the design of the Haka. Obviously, there was a bit of controversy with the logo, which we both got dragged into, but we were not. I'm not even going to touch that. Where did you get the inspiration? Because obviously, it's quite a traditional. I don't know if it will pick it up on there, and I've overjuiced me. Oh, what's going on there? That's funky. Yeah, where did you get the inspiration from for the actual design then?
So the actual the design of the etchings on there, especially the mask, because as you mentioned, there was some conflict about that. And now the mask is a tiki mask. I mean, like many other tiki masks, it's designed for it's especially similar to it because the mask itself resembles everything about strength and spirit and guidance of spirit, and just everything wholesome, to be honest. So to go down that route made sense to me because this mech is, for me, it was a guiding light out of a very dark period. Whilst designing it, whilst bringing it to fruition, that kept my mind busy so that other dark things were held at bay. Nicholas on a 3-1 as well. So yeah, that's where sort of the etching side of things came from. I picked Haka because it's a universal term. Everyone's aware of what the Haka is in terms of New Zealand and the Maoris and the way that they use it as a national war dance. It actually used to be the exact dance that they would do when they were facing up against an enemy. Before obviously times became modern and people picked up guns instead of swords, but it definitely was, it's their way of paying umbrage to their gods and to their spirits as such. And I, like I said earlier, I made this mech in sort of in sort of like spirit of my late mom, but also the passion I have behind vaping. So there's a lot of like similarities there, a lot of symmetry going on with the beliefs behind each thing. So not only was a Haka a universal term that I knew that everyone would be able to relate to, but it also stands for the simple fact that it stands for everything good in terms of light, which I think is really important because we need to we need to make sure that people in our community understand that it doesn't matter how big or small you are, your goodness is goodness, and you just got to bring it,
Alex, because I'm lazy, putting it bluntly, I keep my contacts clean. I'm quite willing to show my contacts because I know that's clean. I just don't like cleaning the outside. They're a pain in the butt. You clean them, and 3 minutes later, you got fingerprints all over them. Lovely, clean, shiny contacts. That's all you need to keep clean and your threads.
That's where one of these come in.
Yes, it does. Yes. Stop showing me that.
I can't help it. Do you know what? I use my all blacks now more than I use my original for that exact purpose. For that exact purpose.
very, very rarely, once I've tested a product, carry on using one that is not now coated in some way or not a fingerprint magnet. And I just pick them up, clean the threads, clean my contacts, and just go. I just can't be bothered doing all that messing around anymore.
It is time consuming. It can be therapeutic as well, though. You know.
Even with I've got swipes and I use them a lot, and they're nice and quick and easy, but they're still the tarnish so quickly, and it just really drives me potty.
I want to get hold of some swipes.
They are good. Vinny must be bunging out £2 updated his cell to plasterboard. Yes, Kane, thank you. It will be painted tomorrow. It will be painted tomorrow. I always struggle to clean threads, don't know how to do it properly. Toothbrush, Alex Birds. Toothbrush, some gentle washing up liquid is how I do my threads personally, and it seems to work quite well. I occasionally use my electric toothbrush. He isn't watching, so I can say that.
And I mean, if you're just looking to clean them on the fly, then just try and use your fingernail to get in behind the cloth, and that'll work just as easy. It won't give you as good a result, but it'll work.
Get them stubborn bits out that you get stuck in. Okay, right then, Acapella. The design of your mech. Obviously, when I got this, I think I was one of the early reviewers to get one.
You were?
I had a few issues with the buttons, didn't I?
Yep.
How did it come about, this button design? Because there's not many like it. Well, I don't think there's any like it, really, in the way that you constructed and designed it. Obviously, I'm not going to take it to bits and do a close-up. But how did that pop in your head to do it like that? Because it's clever. Well, it's really clever, like I said on the review, but it was just, it was a bugger. I'm glad you showed me how to do it.
It is a bit of a melon scratcher, especially. I mean, this is why when I polish the mods now before I send them out, I always make sure not to screw that bit in too tightly or press it down too tightly, because people will be able to unscrew it themselves when they get it. So since I've been doing that with the mods, obviously that problem's kind of ceased to exist. We came up with the design of the button just in the sense that we wanted a simple but effective design. In my defense, I didn't actually pick the insulator ring. My manufacturer suggested it, and then I said yes. But it is something that we are going to go back and change as we grow. But because, again, like I say, I made this company out of a lucky windfall, and I didn't do it for money. I did it because I wanted to bring out a product that I truly loved. So as we sell more and more of those products, we also get closer to being able to revise in the mod, go back, change little things about it, thicker springs, a better gripped insulator ring, just little things that need a little bit more attention to them.
So there is plans on a V2?
There is plans for a V 1.5. As for V2, I want the V2 to be completely different from the V1. We may still, this is only an idea at the moment. It's not a definite plan in the stone, but we are thinking about maybe trying to design a mini that can double up as a stack section for the original. So yeah, like I say, it's an idea. It's not a plan at the moment. But there may be a way that actually, instead of it doubling up for the original mod, you just get two minis, put them together, and you can have a stacked mini. I don't know, but yeah, there's plans for 1.5 definitely down the road.
Pleased to hear that. I really, really am. Because let's be honest, you designed a bloody damn good mech, mate. You really did, and everyone that's used one know how well it hits, because it hits bloody well. It's up there with the purges and everything, because I voltage drop tested it and everything like that, and it's up there with the purges. For a first mech, you can't really ask more than that, really, can you?
No, you can't. I've been incredibly lucky with the Haka. in the sense that, you know, there are little things that, hi AJ, yeah, there are little things that need attention, you know. So yeah, so something like a little add-on. The trouble with the idea of having a mini that doubles up as a stack for the original is, how do you make a mini 21700 mod? I mean, yes, okay, our original takes 18s and 20s, 2700s, and 18650s. But if you have to put the insulator tube into the original mod to use the stack section that doubles up as a mod, yeah, there's a lot of variables in that, and a lot of room for error. So, as I say, it's an idea at the moment, Alex, but yeah, something like an add-on. It's just we've got to play around with it. We've got to work it out, and see if it can be done. To be honest, though, as much as I don't want to stack my mech, I've been asked so many times.
People do seem power crazy these days on mechs. Stacks seem to have went out of fashion sort of last year or so.
Yeah.
And probably since about October time, people seem to be wanting to stack everything. I don't see it myself. I've had many a stacked mech, and I've only got one now because I sold the rest because they're just too cumbersome for everyday use for me. Really,
yeah, I think for me, I like building around 0.1s to 0.09s. I mean, obviously, professionally, for anyone watching this back, I don't advise you to build below 0.1. But yeah, as a personal preference, I like building around those parameters. So stacks for me, just don't do it, because you've always got to build higher, and I'm not really a high build guy. And also, I don't like elongated mods. But as a business, it's you can't really take your personal preferences and put them into a business, because at the end of the day, the whole point of running a business is that you're selling something that other people want. So much like the murdered outs, I said I would never murder out my mod.
Yeah, you did.
I did it. And if we can work the stack section, then we'll do it. But I don't really fancy attaching another hacker to a hacker. I've assimilated that, and it doesn't look pretty, personally.
Does the curves not match up, or is it a bit? Does it look a bit like an endless?
It does a bit. I mean, look, no, just towards like endless or whatever. Like, I love what they do and how they do it, but
I'm just thinking with the shape of it, because the Empress curves in and out, doesn't it? That's stacked.
Yeah,
it would look quite similar, wouldn't it?
And also that center mass around here, that you imagine that doubled, and that's a lot of weight in the center of your mod.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like right now, the hacker's pretty. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. It's okay.
Good balance as well. That's what I like as well. It's really balanced weight wise.
But if you add two, suddenly you're like that, and you're top heavy, but then you're also bottom heavy at the same time, and it just it doesn't really go. But people want what they want, and if I can work it, I'll do it. But AMC series box.
They're putting in the requests. Look at it.
Do you know what? Again, I would never say no to the whole box mods, because I'm not predominantly tubes. I did a tube first of all because at the end of the day, that's what I love. The hacker is shaped like it's shaped because I use my influences that I love throughout my experience of vaping, and so mods like the 1111, mods like the El Thunder. The El Thunder's got a central reservation that I like. The 1111's got the curves that I like, and if you really look at the hacker, it's pretty much what you got there. You got curves down the side, you got a nice central reservation, and then it's topped off by a nice constant contact button. So I've really used my sort of experience as a vapor in terms for the hacker design. But that doesn't mean to say that I'm going to keep doing that, because you got to grow, you got to advance, and you got to bring new things out, as a company. And I like box mods. My best box mod is made by my best friend. He was running he had a small company, called 3D printing company called Idle Mods, and I still have that. This is one of my favorite mods, to be fair.
I have to.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's never out of the question, guys. Series boxes, extension tubes, it's all there. We just need to sell some mods and gain a following, or a bigger following now. We have a following, but we just need a bigger following.
Don't everybody need a bigger following?
Yeah. There's some amazing
never big enough
on a box. Yeah, you could. Absolutely, 100%.
Lot of love for Idle Mods, Brendan. Lot of love.
Get in line,
an AMC Idle Mods collab.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? I know at the moment, there's as far as I know, Brendan doesn't have any plans to bring Idle back yet. But I don't think it's off the table. That's as far as I can gather.
So, we've talked design, we've talked travel. Now, where do you see AMC Mods in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see us being one of the main forces in the community, that we're not seen because we make quality mods or we sell quality mods. That's just a byproduct. We do that anyway. I see us as a company being seen because we help our community. We go out, we help those who need the help, the personal people who are just down on their luck. They can't seem to get a break. Hopefully as a company, we'll be the ones to give them that break. Also helping people to realize their dreams. Again, if I came across someone who had fantastic mod ideas or RDA ideas, and they just needed help into the world of being able to put them ideas into practicality, again, I see AMC being that company that goes, it's all yours, we'll just hook you up. That's the type of company I see us being in the future. And being sort of like a beacon to the community, to show people that our community, it isn't gone. Me and my team, we recently just had a discussion, and actually, we're about to finalize our decision tonight after this, about whether or not all of the teams should, or whether our team should be focused on Facebook or other platforms that have papers on there. No, that doesn't mean to say AMC is going anywhere on Facebook, because it's not. It just doesn't need as many people to be spending that much time on Facebook. I mean, as the company owner, I can always keep the group going, the page going, and I've got some fantastic team members who are really good at what they do on Facebook. But in the future, 5 years from now, I hope we don't even have this issue. Whether Facebook's a part of it or whether it's not, I hope as a company, we've helped people to realize that there are others out there who can help them with information, who can help them with self-esteem, who can help them just purely because they need help in many ways. Like, as much as I know our industry is about vaping, we forget a lot that we're all just human. We might be vapers, we might have given up smoking, and that might be the predominant reason why you're in this community. But you all have lives outside of vaping. Hey, Johnny, how's it going?
Hey, Johnny.
And there's no harm in trying to put the two together. You need support in your personal life, then you need to feel like you can come and talk to the friends that you have inside the community. But right now, that's not there. Like, we spoke earlier about how my journey began and how we were both part of Time Worn Clouds when I first started vaping. Do you know, Time Worn Clouds is responsible for raising over £2,500 for the British Lung Foundation.
Yeah, that was amazing times. I miss that group, Acapella. I really do miss Time Warp.
I do too, but it's not about the amount they raised. It's about what they did to raise that amount. You see, they would have raffles, very much like all the other groups have raffles now. They would have raffles, but those raffles would clear out within 10 minutes. You needed to be hot on there to like literally people were messaging Nathan to put the raffle up because they were eager to enter because they knew how fast it would clear out. And people weren't playing because they'd seen you advertise 15 times, or they weren't playing because they wanted what was in the prize. I mean, they wanted it, but it wasn't a huge I've got to play this because I really want this. It was I'm going to play this because I would like to win that, but actually my money's going to a great cause, and that's why I want to play.
I played it a lot of times. I won a couple of times as well, which was the first for me.
I only ever won once. I used to play all the time, but I only ever won once. But that's what I mean, and then we have people in that group who were novices and could come along and ask questions, and literally the comments be filled with over 60 comments from people who were trying to help that person understand whatever it is that they were trying to understand. That is community. All right, not so much the raffles, but the whole, trying to do good for the sake of doing good. Like, why do you need to get anything for it? You don't. Just do it, and help someone else out. Like, there's no reason to laugh or snark or say, something that does their self-esteem no good. What's the point?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Acapella. And you say it's not that present in the community at the minute. I think it is. It's just not that obvious. It's quite hidden away. It does go on. There is good sides to the community. Yeah, the negatives at the minute far outweigh the community side of things. But I like you. I see the good, and there is good, and it will become good again. I still think Facebook will be the platform, regardless of the changes they're making and things like that. I still see Facebook being the main platform, 1, for supporting new vapors, 2, for companies, and 3, for the community in general, because it's just so vast. There's nothing. We all tried MeWe, we all tried whatever else it was, and they all failed, and they all died, and everyone just came back to Facebook. You just play by the rules. And it's kind of gone full circle. It's like when I got into the vaping scene about 4 years ago, not actually actively. And then it was great. It was all just laughs and helping. There was very little negativity there. And it was just really, it was just nice to be part of it. And then things started changing and all these teams developed, and some of the team mentalities tarnished it, putting it bluntly, really tarnished it. I know AMC run their team differently. Vitality was another team that was run very differently. I don't actually know what's going on with them at the minute.
Unfortunately.
Sorry?
I haven't heard anything with Vitality.
No, I haven't heard anything from them for ages.
But this is the thing, right? Because you touched upon the rules of Facebook, and like I agree that the community is still there. There's still an underbelly of goodness going throughout our community. But I was having this discussion the other day with my team, and that is the rules have changed. Okay, the rules have changed. You can't no longer post links directly to websites that sell fake products. Okay, that is a rule, but a bylaw of that
businesses can though, can't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the bylaw of the rule.
Yeah.
If you post your business page and then share that into a group, that's not breaching it. No. That's not breaching it. If you have a live stream that you're streaming through an external service. So, for instance, if you have a live stream that's sharing through OBS, again, you can have whatever you want up on the screen because you're only streaming. You're streaming from an external source through to Facebook. I think the trouble is that because groups have been archived, and because people have lost their groups altogether, because of hashtags, because of direct links, because of competitions or raffles, this raises the scaremongering up a bit, and they're like, "Oh my god, you can't do that because if you do that, you're gonna get your group archived." It's not that simple. If you really look at the loopholes inside those rules, it's a simple route that you have to follow. And
I've been saying that for so long.
Yeah,
people just don't listen sometimes. You can just practice. They're there. They're clearly there in the rules. There's massive loopholes, and like you're saying, just follow them and go through the loopholes and just play by the rules. If they change the rules, then we'll change again. But
it's just the thing, for the only way the rules have changed is prevented sole traders who do not own a business page advertising,
which is a good step.
Yeah, I mean that can really be good. That's only good for our community, because at the end of the day, I don't know if you remember yourself, Benny, or if you guys remember, but you go back, 12 months even? Yeah, about that actually, about 12 months. And if you have that time hop or something or whatever, and you look at the sort of posts that were around them days, there were so many 2-for-1s and enter here, like this one, do this one, and literally your whole newsfeed would be full of them. And half the competitions you entered, you never freaking heard about anyway. Not faced by 3 billion adverts. Exactly right. So these rules, they have loopholes, and those loopholes are designed for business owners to be able to use. Okay, the advertising is really restricted. Not gonna lie. Really wish that would change, and I'm sure in the future it will. That's another thing I see for AMC as well. It may not be under the AMC banner, but it'll be under me, and that is really fighting to not only talk to MPs, etc., but just trying to change some of the policies about our industry, because I don't believe e-cigarettes should be under TPD. I think it should be retitled EPD, which is just e-cigarette. But yeah,
I never got that. I've had that discussion with my local MP ages ago. It's not a tobacco product; it's a nicotine product. Nicotine is derived from other things other than tobacco.
I know you do, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, we've got another last paper standing up on the group. If you want to go check that out, I'll mention what that is in a minute. I just want to read through some of these comments because they've been popping up and I haven't read any properly. Feeling has already helped me while I'm going through a rough time. This community and the people in it are amazing. That's nice to hear. That is really nice to hear.
See, I help if people come to me and need anything. I help. I just do it. I don't go posting. I don't go advertising it. There's no point. I don't do it for that. It's I'm not going to talk anymore about that.
But that's what I mean. That's true community spirit, is to do things because it makes you. Well, not so much makes you feel good. I mean, you will feel good.
I'm lucky. I'm vape-wise, I'm very privileged. I get sent a lot of products and a lot of juices, and I see it my way of giving something back to the community by doing what I do with the things when I'm done with them.
And that's exactly what sort of I want. This is how I'm trying to fashion AMC, because people see a mod company, and that's true. We're a mod company. We make mods, we sell mods. But what you don't realize is that every mod we sell, the money goes back into the company. I don't get paid for AMC. I have my own personal separate life, and I don't do the work because I get paid. I don't do the work because I think I'm going to get paid after it's all done. I'm actually probably never ever going to take a wage check from AMC, and that's purely because any extra money we have will go back into community projects. Last year alone, within the first 3 months of being released, open for business, whatever you want to call it, we donated 5 mods and also fundraised for one of our team members who had their car broken into and had all of their high-end mechs stolen.
Yeah, I remember that bastard. Yeah, I remember that.
We want to give back to the community. You know?
You're very invested in the community. That's definitely it. There should be more companies like that, and I think that is coming in a way. But
it is slowly. It is very slowly,
which can only be good, really.
Look, I only, to be fair, I only have. This is going to sound a bit callous because I'm going to say I only have time, but it's not so much time. I've only really got love for the companies who are working for the community, if they're truly working for the community. Any company can say we're doing this for the community, but is AMC going to Birmingham Expo?
I was going to ask you that.
That is a very good question and a very tough question to ask, because yes, there was plans for us to go to Birmingham Expo. However, due to certain changes to certain award schedules, I am weighing up options as to whether May or October.
October is traditionally the big one.
Yes, whereas May is traditionally the hardware one. So
yeah, Rabbit in the house. Good evening, Rabbit.
Hey, what's up, Rabbit?
Comrade. He was rocking his Haka at the weekend.
Good.
Sorry,
go on.
Are you personally going in May, Acapella?
Personally going in May? If I do, it may be for one day. But Darren's right. Some of the team will be there, supporting AMC. The way it lays at the moment is, like I say, I'm always upfront about whatever, to be fair. The way it lays at the moment, is we were going to enter the Vape Around Awards. And as far as we knew, that was being held in May. I do kind of have it on good authority that it may not be the case this year.
All right.
And that it may, yeah. So it may happen in October.
Right.
Absolutely, I will, Nasty Coils. I was trying to catch up with you in October, but I didn't get enough time. We were only there for one day. So yeah, we were gonna go to Expo predominantly. That's awesome. I love that. It's my favorite mod right now. Rabbit's a warrior, 100%. I got mad love for Rabbit, man. So yeah, we were gonna go, and we were gonna go in the Modders Gallery, and we were gonna exhibit there. Now I need to weigh up the option because, like I said, AMC wasn't built on money; it was built on passion. So now I need to weigh up the options, whether or not the Modders Gallery is still a good option. If it is, then obviously I'll be there the whole 3 days. But then I got to think about October, which is only 6 months down the line. I got kids, birthdays, all of that. All of this will be coming out of my personal pocket. It doesn't come out of the company; it comes out of the personal pocket. So, yeah, it's just about personal circumstances, really, guys. If we're there as visitors, then you'll definitely know about it. We'll do live feeds, etc., etc. And if you see me there, then go ahead. Hashtag AMC1AO. Yeah, absolutely, 100. Yeah, if you see me there as a visitor, you'll know. Feel free to come and approach. I'd love to have a chat, hear any ideas you might have. my leaguers in here, shoot me a hashtag.
Yes, there is leaguers in here, Robert. But yeah. What is the? No, I'm not going to go there. I imagine I know the cost of a stand in the big areas. Is the Modders Gallery slightly more affordable? I suppose that's the best way of putting it.
Well, I can't really say for sure. I'm acting on advice to not inquire too soon. But having said that, I heard a rumor that in October it didn't cost anything.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's only a rumor. It's not clarified
Yeah.
fact. But yeah, I mean, I have heard that rumor that it was only it was free in October. So I don't know. I'll know more probably around end of March, April. I'll drop them a line about that time. See where they're at with their prices. See if it costs us anything to be in the Modders Gallery. But yeah, as I say, the more we sell, obviously, the bigger the chances. But
yeah,
you know, they're thinking mods will sell when they sell. I hate being all about like when they sell, we'll get, you know, we'll know more things, because that kind of makes it sound like we want to sell loads of mods, which isn't the case. Unfortunately, the case is the more we sell, the more we can do, and so on and so on. So yeah, we'll see, really.
Well, I'll drop a little bombshell and a little revelation here. Come October, I might be at Vape Expo, not as a reviewer.
Nice. What will you be going as?
No comment.
Come on. Can't leave a brother hanging.
There will be a Vaping Vinny juice line.
I will be the first in line to try it.
Happening quite soon. Yeah. And then from there, we don't know. We don't know where. There's a lot of things in the pipeline. I've been working with a few companies, doing a bit of product development with a few companies. See how that goes. And also, I may well be joining you in the mechanical mod market at some point in the future.
Come on. Hell to the yeah.
There's things afoot, but we'll see. The juice line is definitely happening though, because that's something that I did way back when I first started vaping. I messed with flavors and recipes and things like that, and did a bit of mixology. The juice line's coming, and it will be Vaping Vinny's Awesome Sauce, and I will be all over the bowl.
Good. Do you know what? This is something I actually want to touch about, because, like, you know, my enthusiasm for you is true enthusiasm. I'm freaking excited to try that juice, and if you release a mech, I'm excited to see what it looks like, how it functions, and if it's something that I would use. But like, the thing I want to touch on is brand cooperation. Now, I'm happy to say that I'm starting to see this more and more these days. You know, we touched upon the fact that I started 5 years ago, but I tell you what, 5 years ago, brand cooperation really was something that had, you know, I mean, you had brand owners who worked together because they saw the betterment of the produce if they did it. But they never did it to just solely promote companies for the sake of promoting companies. Whereas AMC, we saw literally as one of our mantras, brand cooperation. Most of my reps on my team are cross-brand reppers, and they rep on multiple teams, and hardware teams as well.
That's cool. That's I didn't know you did that. That is bloody amazing. That is superb. I didn't know you did that, because a lot of teams don't let you do that. That's awesome. That is really awesome.
The way I see it is, you know, I mean, I I get to see what goes into the team in terms of information, obviously, in products and stuff. So, most people be like, oh my God, what about if one of your team members leaked a product to another team and they copied it and released it? And the idea behind that is simple. My team will only see a product when I'm happy with it. And if I'm happy with it, you can bet your bottom dollar that product has already been ordered and we're already starting a release campaign for that product. So, unless
I totally I totally get that at the minute.
Yeah. But at the same time, we love our community. We love the businesses in it. I started vaping because of other companies. I got into mechs because of other companies. I was saying earlier about the 1111, and the El Thunder. There's so many other mechs that I've had over the years that have just been quality mechs. I picked up my second nameless yesterday. That's what I mean. Like, I have a love for not only the community but the brands inside our industry as well. I'm not entirely hippified. I don't love every brand, but at the same time, I say live and let live. Also, like, yes, okay, I sell a mechanical mod, but that doesn't make me your adversary. In fact, show me what you got. If I like it, I could become one of your customers. It's as easy as that, helping each other. We're all big hippies, man. Nick says, your juice when it's released.
I never realised how big a process it was. I'm launching with 3 flavours. I'm not going to mention the flavours yet. They're my flavours, the flavours I like. So
nice.
If nobody buys it, I'm going to have a lot of juice to vape over the next year or so. So I don't care if nobody buys it because I'll vape it myself. Yeah, it's my flavours. It's things I like to vape. But I'm going to do it along the lines you've done with the community side of it, Acapella. Because I get inundated with messages of people saying the skin, the broke, they can't afford to, and things like that, and things. And the genuine ones I help, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm going to help them. My plan is to help them with my juice.
That's a great plan.
And hopefully it'll become a circle and it will just self-perpetuate, and then I can bring more flavours in with it if it works.
I can't see why it won't work. Do you know what the reason why I me and my team are deliberating whether to focus our energies entirely on Facebook or whether to just have a skeleton crew on Facebook who keep things ticking over. That's how it's supposed to. Sorry, I got sidetracked. That's how it's supposed to be. But AMC's going to change the game. Yeah, there's some big things coming from AMC real soon. 100%, absolutely. There are a few big things coming for AMC soon. But yeah, more will come along the line in terms of information for that. I'm definitely ordering some of your juice. Let me know when it's released.
Not yet.
But that's another thing as well, though. This brand corporation, it works for small, big, middle-sized companies. We don't care how big you are. We don't, providing that you're not someone who's unscrupulous and, really just seriously out there for the money side of things. Then really we won't really judge at all.
Deals with other companies, they was going to pay me money and stick my face on their juice and release it as my juice and things like that. And I've had crazy offers, and I've said no. I don't charge for my reviews. I've had to reiterate that again recently. Crazy. Why would I want paying? You send me the product, that's fine. I'm not a business. I do this because I enjoy doing it and to help people. I've got sidetracked now. I don't know where I was going with that.
There's always people out there that need your help. There's always people out there who pretend they need your help as well. And I think that's a large reason why our community has become hugely untrusting. Every time there's an entry on the vape court, or every time there's an entry on vape Scammers Remastered or something. You know, every time someone's brought forward because they've scammed someone else, it etches away at that community trust. To the point now where people are more likely to be skeptical of your good deed rather than accepting.
Person, when they come to me, I developed a series of way of observing somebody.
Yeah.
Before I send them some, I mean, I've lent my mechs out, I've lent AVs out, I've lent purges out, I've lent immortals out, I've all that and given so much away and things like that. But over the time, I've developed a process of weeding out the true and the not so true, and it works. It doesn't take much looking around to see who's a faker and the whole team free shit thing. I hate that saying.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the whole team free shit thing. You know, can I just give light to the fact that although there are free shit hunters out there, you know, the ones that are out there that you can see like on the surface, I'd much rather deal with them than the ones who pretend they're not and then expect huge returns on what they do. But obviously, you know, you're gonna get them. This is why I praise my team all the time publicly at any time that I can, because my team they've had to go. They slug. They work hard and passionately for the Haka and AMC, and anything AMC does actually in terms of working with other brands or donating to charities, etc. They work really hard during those times. But trying to get a product up off the ground in this industry is harder than anyone could ever think. Even if you have people who have bought your product, love your product, reviewed your product, you know, received astounding reviews from multiple sources, and work with one of the biggest magazines in our industry, you still have to work really hard to get up off the ground. Like I said, I'm an honest person, and I don't mind admitting that AMC is still working to get off the ground. We've had a fantastic first 6 months, not going to discredit it, but my team, they work through all of that and they expect nothing. And then when I do try to give them stuff, they offer to pay for it. You know, like that is true passion, true grit, and definitely true dedication. Friends won't expect freebies; they will be happy to pay to help you get started. Yeah, 100%. The gazebo.
Alex, don't get on about the gazebos again, please.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of free shit hunters, it honestly comes down to the simple fact: I would rather deal with an apparent free shit hunter, someone who's an actual upfront free shit hunter, rather than someone who will try to do their best to appear not a free shit hunter and then, you know, get really salty when they don't get any free shit.
I used to get accused of being a free shit hunter. It made me fucking laugh. It really did. I'm swearing, but it made me laugh, and then it got annoying, and then it got even more annoying, and now I just ignore it completely because
Hey, look, everyone's always going to have an opinion. I think, without meaning to sound crude, I think the amount of fucks you give it is how long it lives.
Well, I fully admit I'm a snowflake. I am a snowflake, and that's another saying I cannot stand, snowflakes. But I am a snowflake. I'm a very sensitive man.
Like being sensitive, though.
But I'm becoming desensitized for it. So, yeah.
See, look, I mean, that term snowflake, again, that's got people worrying that they're being too in touch with their feelings, or, you know...
That could be a bad thing.
Yeah. Like, why is that a bad thing? I don't think that's a bad thing. No, I think in this day and age of technology, I think that's a pretty fucking good thing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't really understand the term snowflake. Like, I'm not being funny, but I was made aware yesterday that someone who I'd called, well, a dick, basically, because he was being a dick, had posted a screenshot of the messages and posted them on another group. And he was like, oh, he's supposed to be a business. He can't do this. He can't do that. But like I said to him, I am a business, but this is my personal profile.
yeah.
Now, I'm not being funny. I might post for AMC through my personal profile, but I have a business page too. So, whether I post personal or business, it's still my personal profile. So if I think someone's been an idiot or a dick, I'm going to call them a dick. And then I'll tell them why I called them a dick. And if they don't change it, then I still call them a dick. But
It's a dick at the end of the day.
yeah, honestly, it's just, you just got to be honest with people. Like, this is why I didn't really lose any hair. I mean, I've lost enough, but I didn't really lose any hair over the fact that he posted these screenshots in another group, because the way I'd written it was pretty straightforward. He'd actually done a really horrible thing to a supposed friend of his, and he did it as a joke, and it involved Snowflake, believe it or not, and I didn't agree with it, but I didn't think it was big enough to throw my toys out the pram on the company's behalf, but it was big enough for me to take notice and go, dude, why are you being a dick?
Yeah.
Caring is a good thing and it's important.
Yeah. I think it comes with my background as well, my professional background, away from the whole vape thing. I'm in a caring role professionally, so I have to be sensitive.
I'm not being funny though, right? There's professional. You got your page for that. You got your channel for that. But you also have a personal profile. Most people don't know this, but running AMC every day, I'm always switched on. If I get a customer inquiry through inbox, I answer it. If I get an email through the website, I answer it. If someone comments, like a week or so ago when they were saying that they had a clone Haka, I was on it. Although I couldn't get to the status itself, but my team got on it. Again, another example of, pretty how epic my team is, really. But I never turn off. You're never, ever switching off when you run an online business, because you always have to be ready to answer.
To be honest with you, it's a bit like that as a reviewer as well, because
exactly,
with nearly 6,000 subscribers again, thank God, it just, even when I'm at work, I have my phone with me. I'm allowed to have my phone with me because of the nature of my work. We use our phones a lot.
Yeah.
I get emails, messages, texts, WhatsApps, everything like that. And again, I answer them because that's who I am. I'm not going to ignore people.
No. Someone asks you a question. I mean, as a brand, Vape Infinity is a brand. As a brand, you're going to answer them. It's called professionalism. But just because I deal professionalism through my profile, and through my business page, and I do allow people to contact me personally through my profile, that doesn't mean to say that it's not my personal profile. So when I don't agree with someone or their actions, I'm going to inbox them and I'm going to tell them that I don't agree with what they've done.
As you see, I've started doing that a lot more, calling people out a lot more on things. Like the other expo, where juice companies were telling me about these group owners tapping them up for hundreds of pounds worth of juice just to be the sponsor of the groups and things like that. I called them out, and I'll do that again. It's just who I am. If people do something wrong, they do something wrong. Again,
but that's it.
And I'm wrong. I'm very quick to apologise and make amends. I've had to do that a couple of times by jumping in at a deep end, but I'm not going to change doing that. That's just me. I am not going to change jumping in and stepping in for the consumer, really.
No, I don't think you should ever. As long as you apologise when you're wrong, do you know what I mean? Look, I see it as two of one ways, right? First of all, I could be a robot, and I could just be on business mode all the time, and give the generic answers back, and not really put any effort or passion or thought or feeling into my responses, and I could be a robot. Like so many other companies have hired robots to freaking do for them. But I'm not. I'm me. Like, I created this company because I give a damn about our community. I love mechanical mods. I hold my heritage very dear. All of those things go together. And the way I see it is if I'm fortunate by the way that the hacker takes off and does really well, then I can then use that to create more fortunate circumstances for other people. Whether that be that we use our popularity in order to draw attention to a charity event that's happening for a decent charity, or whether whether we use that popularity to promote people to go down and attend a vaping advocacy event or something, or whether we use our money and we create products that are sold in aid of charities, or whether we give products away. It matters not as long as we help the community one way or another. And I don't think being yourself is such a bad thing when being yourself is the precise reason why the community has people who are good in it.
Yeah. And there is a lot of good people in the community. There is a lot of good people.
There's a lot of greedy people still. I mean, they got cut down by the rules.
That'll never change. That'll never change, unfortunately. But that's not just the vaping community. That's every sort of community you can think of. You get that in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's also people out there who just work for their own betterment, and I get that. You got to keep doing that. We all strive for better lives, but at the same time, why not help someone else?
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're all. Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. Hashtag follow AMC/VapeandVinny. Oh yeah. But it's like Darren said there in his comment, caring is a good thing and is important. It is important. Because how many of us sit behind our phone screens or our computer screens and we type from within? Like we literally put ourselves on our screens because it's so much easier than in real life actually verbalizing what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you're doing things, all of that. You can't verbalize that. We've not been trained to do that.
I've actually stopped myself doing that as much now. I've become, the last 6 months, I've become very aware of my public figure. It started coming when I had my issues with vaping with Vic and everything that happened there. It sort of snowballed on, and then the awards, which yourselves was nominated for the Haka, and I came 5th in the reviewer one with the Alex V channel and everything,
which was really good.
It blew me away, mate. To be honest with you, but yeah, it's snowballing. I mean, where was I? I went to IKEA in Leeds with a wife a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And someone stopped me in IKEA. That's 140 miles away from my house.
Whoa.
And someone stopped me in IKEA and said, "You're vaping Vinny, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was stood there for half an hour talking to the guy. You're like, "Oh, what devices have you got on here?" And I had like 3 different devices. I was walking around the shop and everything, and stood there talking with him. I think his name was Neil. I think it was Neil. But yeah, and where else was I? I was somewhere ages ago. I was down Bournemouth on holiday with the wife and the kids. Just walking across this road, the Bournemouth car drove past me and shouted, "Vaping Vinny!" out the car window. It was like, Jesus Christ.
as brands grow, so do the people behind them. This is the thing about AMC though. Hashtag AMC fam. Exactly. We are a family, but it's AMC. It's not acapella. Like, I know it's called Acapella Mod Code, but that was simply so that I could have the phonetic there and the acronym, and I couldn't think of a name that didn't really suit it as better as Acapella Mod Code. I mean, it just rolls off. And so AMC is for me, I love the acronym, but AMC is AMC is an entity of its own. It's as much as I might be behind the scenes and keeping the strings well oiled and making sure that it actually grows. alongside with my team, the company is its own standalone entity, and hopefully in the future, people will be like, I'm here because AMC helped me. Not I'm here because Acapella helped me, but I'm here because AMC helped me.
That's awesome, man. That is truly awesome to have that philosophy though from a company. Few and far between that philosophy.
It's my way of trying to lead by example, I guess.
Yeah,
you're
the minority, not the majority, unfortunately.
But hopefully that will turn around. As more people are already trying to put the community effect behind mods. Look at #PassTheMech. Whether it's wholly a community incentivized project, professionally, I wouldn't comment. Personally, I still wouldn't comment because this is a professional interview. I support the whole theory behind #PassTheMech. Like I wrote on their post, I do 100% fully endorse the whole theory behind the PassTheMech. It's just what you put on the mech.
Right. Yeah. I was fully aboard. I was going to be the first reviewer. I was going to review it, talk about it, launch it. And then 4 days, I think it was 5 days before it was due to be sent to me, they actually showed me it with the advertising plastered all over it. And I was like, no way, not doing it. The guy behind it's a good friend. Lee Meekins, I'll name him. It's a good friend, but I wasn't going to do that. That's all I'll say on that, really. But it's a shame that the idea is superb, absolutely superb. But and I can understand they had to generate the money to get the mech to do it, and that's why, because that brand funded it. I understand that, but no, not for me.
I mean, personally, as I said, that's a fine example how companies are starting to think in the way of community. And although they're doing it for their own gain, to a certain extent, don't be, I'm not trying to paint AMC any differently. We sell our mechs and the money goes back into our company, but what's different for us is that once we have enough to restock the mechs and we have that money left over after, it's where that leftover money goes that matters the most. And I can honestly say to you, it will go back into the community, because that's just what I want as a company. That's what I see my company being. You need a beacon to shine the light for people.
It's almost like identity, isn't it, really, if you think about it?
Yeah.
Which is superb, absolutely superb, man. Really is.
It's all we aim to do is just make a better community. Like I came into this community when it was a fantastic place to be. You really felt supported. You felt like you could support others. Everyone got on, and it was a happy environment. It really was a happy environment. And then the moment the TPD happened, happened, we lost a little bit of ourselves, but then we recovered. And then suddenly you had like 200 pop-up companies every week coming up, trying to release products that they hadn't really thought out, or hadn't really thought out the businesses behind. And I'll say this, but I went through the exact same phase myself. I tried to release a juice that I wanted out. I didn't make it myself. It was a white label, all the same. But again, I learned my lesson, because unless you produce something that you've made, that's from you, how can you truly put your word and your passion behind it? I mean, this is why no one ever heard of the Acapella Juice Code, because it never happened. I might have got samples, maybe even had labels on them, but it didn't happen because I just couldn't get that passion up. Then the Facebook rules change, and suddenly, those 200 people a week that turn up trying to have a go, they disappear, or half in numbers. And as the rules get harsher and harsher, and groups are shutting down left, right, and centre, you generally find that the community spirit is dropping as fast as what the groups are really. And then we just try and figure out how we're going to recover from that. And then, this business in America happened, which most people, they were either like of the opinion of, we're not American, so it doesn't matter. Or I really want to help them, so I'm going to put a post up or use a hashtag, and then I've done my bit. And it's like, okay, like I get where you're coming from. Love your intention, great. The fact you put the post up, great. The fact you use the hashtag, fantastic. But what else did you do? Do you know what I mean? And I mean, for me, as a personal person, I couldn't think of too much to do. I honestly couldn't, because in America, they've got different laws, they've got different freaking restrictions, they've got so many different systems and so many different states. You're like, where do I even begin? I'm not a professional lawyer. I'm not really going to bring any skills to this table. What I can do, though, is make sure that everybody I talk to about this situation, that they actually fully understand what's happening out there and how it could come back, and we could end up picking up the repercussions.
Yeah, and we are doing.
So instead of like acting as a separatist community bound by borders, by regions, and by countries, we should seriously just act like a one community. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but have you seen the 100, Finney?
Yes.
You know where that chick creates the one crew?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's seriously what our community needs to learn to be.
Yeah. That's like the utopian vape community, isn't it, really, if that happened? It really would be. Right, Acapella, I'm going to draw it to an end, but I want you to give the promotion on the last man standing you've got running at the moment.
Brilliant. Okay, so on our group, AMC Mods 21, with a minus and a plus on either side of it, look on our page. You should see a couple of links to it. If not, ask one of the team. Anyway, we have a last man standing. I would call it a competition. I think I'd be better, more aptly named as a sweepstake. So anyway, inside this last man standing, the prizes are, just so you know quickly, the prizes are a topside light, which is a interchangeable squonk and non-squonk mod by Dogpo. We have the Nightmare RDA, which is the most recent release by Suicide Mods. We have the Haka Brass Edition, and we also have a £50 gift voucher. Well, it's not a voucher. Ultimately, if you don't want to use the £50 on AMP, we will send you the £50 via PayPal, and you can go and spend it any way you like. All you have to do to enter is, it costs £10 per entry, and the whole idea behind the game is that you're the last man standing. So the tip is, if you want to enter, let's just say you enter 3 times for £30 and you win, you're making £20 in cash, and you're also getting 150, maybe 70 quid's worth of hardware also, all for the sake of £30. So yeah, basically the more you enter, the more your name gets put on the wheel. Say 10 people entered, all 10 people entered 3 times, then that's going to be 300 names on the wheel. That's going to be a very long game of last man standing. I would probably split that one in half. I'm not going to lie. But either way, as you go around, each name that it stops on, we take off the list, and so on until you get down to one name, and that's the winner. But just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. You could literally, like I say, you could buy 3 tickets for the sake of £30, and if you won, you make £20 in cash via PayPal. You then also get 150 to 170 quid worth of hardware as well. The hardware is being delivered tomorrow, so I will pick up some pictures of that. There's no waiting time. It'll all be sent out on special delivery. You could have it by Monday morning. Or Saturday, give or take.
Hell of a prize pot.
We also, just to be cheeky here, we also have Our Shout Fridays, hashtag Our Shout Fridays on Instagram. So if any of you are popular Instagrammers, go on over to Instagram and follow AMC Mech General. and AMC Mex for Mex Minds, and Assassin Vapes. And you'll see some hashtag I'll Shout Friday posts as well. I'm not going to describe that one because we got a banner on our group and a banner on our page. Go check them out.
And there we go, folks. Thank you very much for joining me, Acapella. It's been an absolute pleasure, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me, Finny, and I have loved it. If there's anything I can do for you in the future, just let me know.
Yeah, and I hope to God you go to Expo in May. Although I don't even know if I'm going yet, if I'm completely honest. I still haven't been told I've got the time off yet from work, so we'll have to wait and see.
We will see. We will see.
Right. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you again, Acapella. Love and respect to all. Take it easy, guys. Like the video. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, wait, there is a delay. There we go.